Coming up on BCN today, a 19-year-old man turns himself in nearly a week after a traffic accident kills a man in Fort Macleod. RCMP in Red Deer determined the Walmart shooting was not targeted. 2 people are arrested. And a special message from Ontario Premier Doug Ford for those who left him an early Christmas gift.
Your Canada. Your Southern Alberta. Your stories. From our studios in the heart of Lethbridge, it's BCN Today with Jeanette Roche.
Hello, and thanks for joining us for our final newscast of 2019. Fort Macleod RCMP have arrested a 19-year-old man in connection with a serious collision resulting in the death of a passenger. Yesterday morning at 9:30 a.m., Tristan Big Sorrel Horse turned himself into police. He'd been involved in a traffic fatality on December 15th after RCMP were unable to locate Tristan Big Sorrel Horse. A warrant for his arrest was issued. The 19-year-old from Glenwood, Alberta, has been charged with dangerous driving, causing death, failing to remain at the scene of an accident resulting in death, operation of a motor vehicle while prohibited. Big Sorrel Horse is currently in custody and is being held for a justice interim release hearing. The court date has not yet been determined. Following the investigation into the South Red Deer Walmart shooting on Friday night, RCMP confirmed the shooting was not targeted. Charles Jim Williams, age 69, and his wife were leaving the Walmart when Williams was approached by a man unknown to them. There was an altercation and Williams was fatally shot. The suspect then fled the scene in a stolen vehicle being operated by a woman. RCMP later spotted the vehicle near Rimbey and used spike belts to stop it and arrested an 18-year-old man and a 30-year-old woman. Chase Freed and Crystal Morris, both of Red Deer, face charges including murder. Lethbridge Police and Alberta Sheriffs teamed up to shut down another alleged drug house in Lethbridge. This one was located at 136 15th Street North. The Safer Communities and Neighborhoods unit of the Sheriffs received a court order to close it down. When police went in, they also seized various amounts of cocaine and methamphetamine. Under the terms of the community safety order, crews boarded up the house, changed the locks, and put up a fence around the property to stop anyone from entering until the end of the closure period on February 27th. Since its inception in 2008, Alberta's SCAN unit has investigated more than 5,500 problem properties across the province. Alberta RCMP say a toddler has been found unharmed and his father is in custody. After an Amber Alert was issued on a Friday morning, the alert went out about 2:30 a.m. for the 14-month-old boy. Mounties say he was taken from his father's home in the hamlet of Brule, about 315 kilometers west of Edmonton. RCMP say the 41-year-old father surrendered to officers at the home late Friday afternoon. Calgary police are asking for public assistance in finding a Clares home man wanted on 3 counts of uttering threats and 1 count of failing to comply with a court order. Authorities say 31-year-old Dallas Donald Curtis may be in the Lethbridge area, and they are concerned for the welfare of his victims. Anyone with information on this case is asked to call Crime Stoppers immediately. Sunday marked the beginning of the Jewish celebration of Hanukkah, which runs through until the evening of Monday, December 30th. Alberta Premier Jason Kenney took some time to honor the Jewish community and to defend religious freedom.
Happy Hanukkah to all members of Alberta's Jewish community, celebrating this triumph of good over evil and of light over darkness. Of course, Hanukkah commemorates one of the most important moments in early Jewish history, when the Maccabees triumphed to cleanse the temple and rededicate it. It reminds us of the miraculous burning for 8 days of the Hanukkah lantern. And it also reminds us about the central importance of religious freedom, because after all, that is what the Maccabees were fighting for, against an oppressive force that did not permit them to celebrate their Jewish traditions and faith, and which defiled the temple of the Jewish people. All of this should remind us of a number of things. First of all, the indigenous presence of the Jewish people in their Holy Land for millennia, for endless generations. It should remind us that the Jewish people have always had to defend their religious freedom and their right to exist as a people. And it should remind those of us who are not members of the Jewish community of the importance of solidarity, not just symbolically, but practical expressions of solidarity for the Jewish people and for any people who faces persecution because of their faith or because of who they are.
Only a few short days until Christmas, actually only 2 days till Christmas at this point, and one Lethbridge charity is hoping to meet their goal to get enough toys and clothes to make it a special day for every child in southern Alberta. The My City Care Shop of Wonders helps families who are struggling to make ends meet. And with the touchy economy, the number of people they've served this year has doubled from last year.
So far we've had over 800 kids come through, or not kids, the families with the kids, and we still have over 150 more by the end of Monday. So we're still looking for donations of all sizes and for all ages right now. So you can drop off donations at 321 8th Street South, right at the location, and that goes till 9 o'clock tonight, Saturday, and Monday from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. We do see some families come back year to year. Lots of them have volunteered one year, and the next year that they're in need of help, so we've done that. And also the opposite, they've accepted help one year and the next year they come and volunteer. So that's been always amazing when you see the same face and they're giving back to the community and paying it forward.
R.I. Baker Middle School made history as they made the largest ever single donation to the Coaldale Food Bank.
It feels great once you do it. It's awesome, and yeah, you should just donate because it's helping the less fortunate.
One can or one little piece of something isn't that much money, and if you have some extra something lying around, then you can just donate because it feels good.
We had a very generous donation from a local business owner who happens to own the food store here in town. His daughter is she's a student here, and so he contributed to her class. And so I don't know, if we could top what we did this year, but we're just really grateful for the community chipping in, parents and families, and making this really a community event. This is not just an R.I. Baker School event. This is the community of Coaldale really giving to the betterment of Coaldale itself. So
every year at R.I. Baker, we do give back to the community around this time of year, and this year we chose to do a food drive. And when the idea got put into Bonnie's head, and then the students were made aware of it, and always when you put competition into something and maybe a little food, kids just chase after it. But most importantly this year, I was really proud of my staff and students because I heard students saying as they're gathering food and stuff, oh, a lot of people are going to get to have spaghetti, because we had a lot of spaghetti sauce. And they're thinking of where it's going, not just of the end prize. And that was the most important part to me, the part I was most proud of.
The Coaldale Food Bank counted 6,658 total items. Officials at the food bank estimated there is around $12,000 worth of food and other products. The sound of tubas and euphoniums filled the Lethbridge Casa building over the weekend as part of a worldwide tradition known as Tuba Christmas. Renee Van de Vendel with the Lethbridge Community Band Society explains.
The players come together, and for 1 hour or an hour and a half, they put on one quick concert with just Christmas music. And the concept behind that is that it's not so much about the quality of the music as it is about the experience. So we're spreading the Christmas cheer, so to speak, with our instruments, regardless of the playing ability. So we could have players that have played for decades, like some of us, sitting right next to 10-year-old children that just started playing the instrument 2 months ago. And that's the power of Tuba Christmas.
What's Christmas like on the dairy farm? Well, local cheese factory Crystal Springs Cheese got into the seasonal spirit over the weekend for Christmas on the farm, inviting the public to watch exactly how the goodies are made, including eggnog and a wide variety of cheeses. There were also traditional Dutch homemade oliebollen to sample. Proceeds from the $2 admission charge went to support Streets Alive mission. There's been a lot of talk from the UCP government about the challenges of getting our oil and gas to tidewater. It's a real challenge for Alberta, which is completely landlocked. Gerald Lucician is a senior research fellow at the Frontier Centre for Public Policy, and he's wondering if our provincial neighbours can really prevent us from getting our products to the tide.
Being in Canada, we have a similar situation domestically with Alberta and Saskatchewan, where our neighbors surrounding us have every right to their land, but the question is do we have the right to access tidewater? And if we do, can our neighbors infringe upon our rights of trade and access to that tidewater?
Catch the full interview with Mr. Lucician discussing how missing out on economic rights is a violation of our constitutional rights. That's coming up in the second half of our show. The federal Conservatives won't be picking a leader to replace Andrew Scheer until next November. The party has announced it's postponing a policy convention set for mid-April to allow more time to organize an upcoming leadership race. A former senior party official says it would be exceptionally difficult to organize the contest that quickly. Ontario Premier Doug Ford's office is wishing a Merry Christmas to the people who dumped a pile of manure outside his constituency office. The statement says the government hopes the protesters have a more productive new year. Toronto police say the incident happened at around noon yesterday in the West End suburb of Etobicoke. No charges have been laid. Manitoba is joining BC and Alberta as the latest province to dive into a renewed debate over daylight saving time. Opposition New Democrats are launching a website to gauge public opinion on whether the province should stop changing clocks every spring and fall. NDP legislature member Adrian Sela says evidence suggests heart attacks and workplace injuries increase around time changes, and ditching the time change could be good for people's overall health. Manitoba's progressive Conservative government hasn't shown any interest in adopting one year-round time. Australia's Prime Minister says the response by emergency service workers to raging wildfires in his country has been world-class. Firefighters from across Canada are helping their Australian counterparts in efforts to contain hundreds of blazes that have killed 9 people and destroyed about 900 homes. The 69 Canadians will not be on the front lines, though, but will provide command, aviation, planning, logistics, and operations support. Australia has come to help Canada with battle wildfires 4 times since 2015, and it's the first time Canada has been called to return the favor. A message a 6-year-old girl found in a box of charity Christmas cards has prompted Britain's Tesco grocery chain to halt production at a factory in China. It has launched an investigation into the possible use of forced labor to produce the cards. The Sunday Times reports the child in South London found a message reading, quote, "We are foreign prisoners in Shanghai Qingpu Prison, China, forced to work against our will. Please help us and notify a human rights organization." Tesco says it would never allow prison labor in its supply chain. A Saudi court has given death sentences to 5 people for the 2018 murder of journalist Jamal Khashoggi. Khashoggi's slaying by a team of Saudi agents in the Saudi consulate in Istanbul shocked the international community. His slaying brought into sharp focus the concerns over human rights that Khashoggi had spent the last years of his life writing about. Exiled in U.S., 11 people have been charged in Saudi Arabia in the killing, but all can appeal the preliminary verdicts. Well, we had a ton of fog this morning in Lethbridge, but it looks like it will be dissipating later on this morning. We'll see some wind gusts to 40 kilometers per hour. A complete look at your Christmas weather forecast is right after the break. Stay with us. And here's a look at our Christmas Eve and Christmas Day weather forecast coming up over the next couple of days in Lethbridge. Today, lots of fog and clouds, a high of 1 degree, a low of -5 overnight. Tomorrow, Christmas Eve day, we're going to be seeing a chance of flurries with a high of -1 and a low down to -9 on Christmas Eve. Wednesday, for Christmas Day, we're going to see lots of sunshine in the forecast with a high of -1, a low of -11 on Christmas evening. Then tons of sunshine for the rest of the week. Thursday, Boxing Day, we're going to see a high of -2, and then the temperature is going to climb to 4 degrees on Friday, 7 degrees on Saturday, and remain around 6 degrees on Sunday. Tons of sunshine, so it's going to be beautiful. According to the almanac, the high this time of year should be around -1, the low around -13. The high temperature on this day was back in 1999. It was 11 degrees, and the low was a freezing -39. That was in 1983. The sun rose this morning at 8:27 a.m. and it will set this afternoon at 4:34 this afternoon. And guess what, guys? Days are getting longer now because we did reach our winter solstice on Saturday. So that means summer's coming. Looking to the west coast, Victoria and Vancouver, we're going to see highs of 5 degrees in Vancouver, 7 in Victoria, chance of rain in Victoria, high of -3 up in Edmonton, and a high of -1 over in Calgary. Looking over to Saskatoon, we're going to see a chance of flurries with a high of -4, a mix of sun and cloud in Regina with a high of -4 as well. Winnipeg will see tons of sunshine today, but their high will be a -6 degrees. Looking over to our friends in Toronto, we're going to see lots of sunshine with a high of 9 degrees. The high in Ottawa and Montreal today will be 5 degrees. Ottawa will see some fog and some clouds, a chance of sort of mixed sun and cloud there in Montreal. Atlantic Canada will see a high of 1 degree in Fredericton. With lots of clouds, cloud coverage, very much the same situation in Halifax with a high of 2 degrees. Snow is expected in Charlottetown with a high of 1 degree, and lots of sunshine is expected today in St. John's, Newfoundland with a high of -4. That's your forecast. Here's a look at what's happening in your community.
Here's your Bridge City News Community Calendar. Come for a beautiful and reflective time at the Christmas Eve candlelight service at City Light Church on December 24th from 5 to 6 p.m. Celebrate the birth of our Savior by gathering together for a time of singing and hearing about the miraculous events that took place on that special night. Let's remember that Jesus is the reason for the season. Another Christmas Eve event that is taking place is at the Evangelical Free Church of Lethbridge, where they invite everyone to come for a free community Christmas experience. Enjoy Christmas goodies, activities for the kids, carol singing, and a Christmas message to infuse your season with joy. Times for this festive, family-friendly event are 2, 4, and 6 p.m. For more information, visit efreelethbridge.ca/Christmas. The Lethbridge Senior Citizens Organization is holding their 35th annual Christmas Turkey Dinner on December 25th from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. at the LSCO. Everyone from the community is invited to attend, and dinner is free. Donations for the dinner are greatly appreciated. For more information, call 403-320-2222. And that's your Bridge City News Community Calendar.
Well, many of us have already started our Christmas baking, but when it comes to cookies, we may not have the same touch as Martha Stewart. No matter how hard some of us try, the frosting can sometimes look like it was put on by a 4-year-old. Well, today's daily life hack comes to the rescue. You can win this challenge by pouring your frosting into a condiment container. Screw the cap on nice and tight, and you'll have a much nicer looking cookie icer. There you go. That's been your daily life hack for Christmas. Samaritan's Purse has been delivering more than 1 million gift-filled shoe boxes as part of Operation Christmas Child to children in need in Cambodia. The CEO of Samaritan's Purse, Franklin Graham, says the kids are blessed with gifts and get to know the true meaning of Christmas.
Today, here we are in Phnom Penh in Cambodia, and Operation Christmas Child is touching the lives of hundreds and hundreds of children. I mean, it's just been incredible. Kids are so excited, giving them a gift, do it in Jesus' name. We saw many of the children put their faith and trust in Christ, and that's what this is all about. We want the children of the world to know what Christmas is all about, that God gave his son, Jesus Christ, for the sins of this world. For most of the children, it's the first time that they've ever had a gift in their life. These are poor kids. Some of these have come from the railroad tracks, some come from the slums, some are orphans, and it's an incredible gift. And so you think, well, God, does it really mean that much? It means everything in the world. Every box is important. Every box is needed. Thank you for your support. Thank you for your prayers. God bless you.
Do you see the look on their little faces? So excited. Well, 8 customers at a Waffle House in Woodlawn, Ohio, made a huge difference for one family this Christmas. 6 friends decided to each give a waitress a $100 tip. And when 2 other customers saw what they were doing, they pitched in too. The waitress has 5 children and was reduced to tears by their generosity. So sweet. Well, that's it for me, BCN. Today we'll be taking a little break over the holidays, but we'll be back again on January the 2nd. On behalf of all of us here, have a safe and happy holiday season. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. We'll see you all again right back here in 2020. But right after the break, Paul Arthur speaks with a best-selling author from Chicago. Jay Pilitner recently wrote a book called The Jesus Dare. Jay says the God that we serve is a caring God who specializes in turning lemons into lemonade. That's coming up in the second half of our show right after this short break.